Right, next order away. 1 tuna fish, 2 lamb, 1 medium, 1 well done, 1 ribeye steak, medium rare. Away! Away!
My name is Joseph Macharia Kimani. I'm currently the executive chef at Muthaiga Country Club. I've been here for the last 5 years, and it's not something I've just started. It's something I started way back in 2015. I've got also support from not only the club, but there's a good friend of mine called David Stockdale, who is also a senior hotelier in the world, and he always supports us. So what we usually do is we bring these chefs and they come train my staff. That's the important part of it. Training them in the sense that they get to know different cuisines of the world, and they get to know different techniques of how to cook things. And that's the benefit of having chefs, because we can't take them there. It's basically a big tall order. But if we bring a good chef, a good pastry chef over to Kenya, it's an advantage for every individual in the kitchen, because even if you don't get everything, you'll grasp 1 or 2 things. And these techniques, they help them in growing culinary-wise.
I was born in Oudorp. It's a very small village on an island in Holland, near the coast. I was born at the feet of the dunes. So my parents had there a vacation pension. When I was about 10, I helped my mother in the kitchen and to serve the guests. And so there, I liked to work with food, and with, it was interesting always. At about 17, I went from home, and I was once in a fortnight or 3 weeks I was home, and I was intern in the business where I worked. There I learned how to work hard, and but I had success. I was 17 and I had 6 tables for my own. I had to help them and to serve them, and given the service. In winter I went to, it was a season company, and in winter when I went to a new restaurant for new experiences. So I did it 3 times, and then I had a small coffee bar restaurant for my own for 5 years. After that we started to work in different restaurants, and I worked in one Michelin star restaurant where I tasted from the dishes. I liked it very much. I worked at the service.
I met Chef Roland, who is his son, in 2012. He came over to a hotel I used to work for as a sous chef. Then we created a good rapport as friends, and we took it more further, because Fairview back then wanted their employees to grow well. So I was lucky enough to be taken to Europe to do a stage, and I went to different hotels. One of them being the restaurant, which is a 1 Michelin star. And when I say 1 Michelin star, is a top-notch restaurant. So I met Roland Klein, the son to Jan Klein, and I was lucky enough to eat in his restaurant, and I approached him as a friend when I came to Muthaiga, and I asked him to come over because I had experienced what he basically cooks and how he runs his kitchen. So I was really impressed, and I called him in. So a few months ago, I approached him again and asked him, since he's grown through the ranks through his dad's mentorship. I asked him if I can have his dad over. So he told me he'll link me up with him, and lucky enough we have him here.
I was 30, I decided, the service I've seen, I'm going to cook. And so I came in the kitchen, and so it started to make 2 years I was in the kitchen from a colleague. And then we started for our own with a companion. And we had that restaurant 12 years. It was restaurant Brave Hendrik, Brave Henry translated. And there we got in 1990 won the first Michelin star. It was more the experience of the restaurant was one Michelin star where I worked at the service, where I tasted the dishes and I said, oh, that's possible. How can you make that? And how can you make that? I asked them, how do you do that? And so I started to make my own impression at home. We made sorbets at home in our fridge, small case. So, and that's nice. And so it went going on and on. And I did it 3 years. And after that, I decided to go for the kitchen.
The joy he has in cooking and the passion has really broken down to the kitchen staff, and that's my pride. The other thing that is that is a pride to me is our members are experiencing a different cuisine, different type of cooking, different taste of flavors, which is very important in culinary, and that's the way they'll benefit it from. So having these chefs come over to Kenya is also a pride for me and a pride for Muthaiga, because they are able to do it and the members are happy at the end of the day. So we've got a line of other chefs who we are planning to bring in from come this September. Next year we plan for another one in January. So we've got a line of good chefs we are planning to bring over, and I'm foreseeing the uplift or the growth of culinary experience in Muthaiga Country Club going up, and this is a good thing for the culinary experience at Muthaiga Country Club.
Right, next order away. 1 tuna fish, 2 lamb, 1 medium, 1 well done, 1 ribeye steak, medium rare. Away.